All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a huge topic, how generative AI is pretty much completely reshaping the world of design. Is AI a threat, or is it your greatest tool? I mean, that's the question on every designer's mind right now, isn't it? And as we're about to see, the answer, well, it's way more interesting than a simple yes or no. So to really get where we're going, you gotta look at where we've been. Think about it. We went from static Web 1.0 pages in the 2000s to the whole mobile-first revolution in the 2010s. Well, according to Hugo Mourlevat, the chief design officer at Michelin, what's happening right now with AI, it's just as big of a deal. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with just how big this change really is, then get into some easy first steps, look at a whole new workflow, see how we can go from a prompt straight to a product, and finally, what all this means for you, the designer. Okay, so first up, AI as the new smartphone. Let's really try to get our heads around the scale of this paradigm shift. Just how big of a deal are we talking about here? Hugo Mourlevat puts it perfectly. He said, in 2012, we were told the mobile era meant we had to completely rethink design. We are at the same kind of turning point today with GenAI. And he's right. This isn't just some new plugin for Figma. No. This is a fundamental change in how we create. All right, so let's say you're on board. You get it. This is a big deal. But where on earth do you even start? It can feel pretty overwhelming, right? Well, the answer is actually way simpler than you might think. You know, the first real hurdle for a lot of us is what you could call the designer's ego. And look, that's understandable. You've spent years honing your craft, and now it feels like you have to learn everything all over again. But here's the key. This first step, it's not about replacing your skills. It's about augmenting them. So try this. Start super simple. For your next meeting, use an AI tool like Microsoft Copilot to transcribe it. Then just ask it to pull out the key points and have something like ChatGPT draft a quick summary. Boom, you're automating the boring administrative stuff. Just doing that can get you back an hour a week. It's a small, easy win that proves the value right away. Okay, so you've had that quick win, you're seeing the potential. Now let's zoom out and look at a really powerful framework for weaving AI into your entire design process. This comes from Hugo Mourlevat again, and he calls it the 5 pillars. So these 5 pillars are research and insights, design to code, prototyping, content generation, and collaborative prompting. See, the idea here is that it's not about finding one single magic AI tool that does everything. It's about being strategic and applying AI across every single stage of your work. Let's take research, for example. A lot of us use atomic research, right? Where you break down insights from user interviews into these tiny, tagged facts. It's super powerful, but man, it can be slow. Well, this is where AI comes in. It lets us do this at a massive scale, continuously chewing through thousands of data points. What you get is a living, breathing understanding of your users that's always up to date. Now, content generation. This is where things get really wild. Just imagine this. Michelin is using AI to build these hyper-personalized visuals, and they do it layer by layer. So first, the AI generates the context. It looks at your location, the weather right now, and creates a scene. Say, a rainy road right in your city. Okay, so you have the scene. Next, using data you've shared, it puts your specific car right into that rainy scene. We are way beyond generic stock photos here. And then, for the final touch, it renders the exact Michelin tire that's recommended for those conditions on your car on that road. What you end up with is a completely custom visual, generated in real time. It's so much more powerful because it was literally made for you in that moment. That's incredible, right? Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about how AI is just completely collapsing the time it takes to get from an idea to an actual working product. Think about the classic developer handoff. It can be tricky. There's friction, misinterpretations, endless revision cycles. Well, the crucial thing here is that AI can act like a universal translator between design and code. It can literally look at your visual components, understand the rules of your design system, and then spit out production-ready code. This just massively cuts down on friction. And this is not just some theory. Get this. One designer at Michelin used GitHub Copilot, and in just 8 hours, a single day, they generated 92 detailed requirement files for a new project. We're talking architecture, security rules, tokens, the whole foundation. A task that would have taken weeks of back and forth before, done in a day.
And what about prototyping? You know the classic trade-off. You can have a low-fidelity mockup that's fast, or a high-fidelity coded prototype that's slow. Well, AI is changing that game. With AI-powered tools, teams can build fully functional, high-fidelity prototypes in just a few days. You get the best of both worlds, the speed of a mockup with the fidelity of real code.
Okay, so we've seen AI change our research, our content, our handoffs. It's changing the whole workflow. So the big question is, what does all this mean for the future of your role as a designer? Listen to this because it's so important. The output of a designer might not be an interface anymore. It might be a prompt. It might be an automation. It's about designing the process. Your value is shifting. It's less about pushing pixels and more about being the architect of the systems and processes that deliver incredible experiences. So, what does this new strategic designer look like? Well, you're deeply connected to business goals. You get the tech, you're the one orchestrating the AI agents and systems to create value. Your focus shifts from just execution to experience strategy. You become the master of the experience quality. This doesn't diminish your role, it elevates it. So, in the end, your new role is strategic. The tools are here, and they're getting better every single day. AI isn't here to take your job, it's here to make it bigger and more interesting. So the only real question left is, what will you design first?